All right, 53 is a quadratic formula problem. So first of all, let me write the formula real quick. It's going to be x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Okay, so what's the first thing we need to make sure of with the equation before we can do the quadratic formula? Set it equal to 0. So how do I do that? Add 4x. So what is my equation then? That's right. 3x squared plus 4x minus 8 equals 0. And so now we're going to find a, b, and c. What is a? What's b? What is c? That's right. So now we're going to plug these into our equation. We're going to substitute. So we got x equals, I'm going to use the parentheses. It's very important to have parentheses, okay? Otherwise you might mess up inside the square root. So we have negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Okay, what goes in my first parentheses? 4. What goes in the next one? After that? What's in the parentheses right here after the 4?
A and C.
A and C, which is?
3 and negative 8.
That's right. And then what goes in the very bottom?
And 3.
3, good. So now after we filled in all of our values, we're going to simplify, like multiply things out, right? So we have x equals, what's this first term going to turn into? Negative 4 plus or minus square root of, what is 4 squared? 16. Then we have negative 4 times 3 times negative 8. What's that? Positive 96. All over, what's 2 times 3? 6. So let's go ahead and change the 16 plus 96. What's 16 plus 96?
112.
So I'm going to erase that. I'm just going to erase that because I don't want to waste too much space. 112. Right? So now we have to find the square root of 112. It's not going to be a perfect square, but we can still break it down some, okay? And I'm going to show you guys the upside down division method to see what exactly that turns into. So I'm going to start with 112, right? What's the smallest number that's not 1 that I can divide 112 by? Not 0, that's 2. What's 112 divided by 2?
56.
56. Now, what's the smallest number I can divide 56 by? 2. What's 56 divided by 2? 28. What's the number I can divide 28 by? 2. 28 divided by 2 is?
14.
What can I divide 14 by? 2. You get 7, and what can I divide 7 by? You just said it. 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1, and we're done right there. When you get to 1, you're finished. So now this is a good method to find out what the square root is, because you're going to circle pairs. So I have a pair of 2's right here, right? I have another pair of 2's right there. Okay? So each pair comes out as just one number. So this pair of 2's right here, this comes out as a 2. This pair of 2 comes out as a 2. All the numbers that were paired up like that we can pull out, we're going to multiply them together. So we got 2 times 2. What's that? 4. And what number did we not pair up? So that goes inside the square root. So 4 square roots of 7 is the square root of 112. So on my next line, I'm going to write x equals negative 4 plus or minus what? 4 square roots of 7. We just found it. That was the whole point of doing that. Right? So plus or minus 4 square roots of 7. Over? 6. And now there's just one more step. What do I need to do here?
You add
We got to look at all three of the terms and see if they can be reduced by the same number. What number? 2, right. So instead of writing x equals negative 4 plus or minus 4 squares of 7 over 6, I can write, let me write that, reduced by 2. And so it's going to be x equals what? Right? And then?
So you change that 4 to 2?
Yes.
2 into 7.
Square root of 7. That's right. Just like that. You don't touch the number inside the square root, right? You only change the number on the outside of the square root. Okay? And so that would be your answer. X equals negative 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 7 over 3.